Hello and welcome to the next video of my LCK 2026 previews. We're covering BRION. So if I had uploaded this video, well, not uploaded, but recorded it when I did this board last night, we would have already been out of date because OK BRION is no longer OK BRION and just BRION because OK are no longer under sponsorship with BRION. And it kind of makes sense. This org has been one of the worst orgs the last 3 seasons in the LCK, finishing 8th every split last year and then 8th in championship points the 2 years prior, only because they had 0 championship points. Theoretically, they could have been worse. Now, this team has swapped out the entire roster. That's one way to try and get better, is just cleaning house. Now, the average age of the roster going into this year is 22.8 years old. Morgan is out, Casting is in. Casting played with KT briefly last season as well as in Challengers. Gideon joins. Gideon played with Nongshim last year. And Hambuk went to Team Liquid, I think, or Sentinels. One of them. And then Krako went to LNG in the LPL. Elam is still unemployed, I think. Fisher joins from Nongshim. They also brought in Romer, who played with Pain last year, and Team Liquid Challengers. Or played with Team Liquid Challengers the year prior. Teddy joins, played with DRX and DRX Challengers last year. And Hype, I don't know where Hype ended up. We probably already talked about Hype, but I can't remember where he went. And you know what? No, I think Hype went to ERLs. And Bull joined Loud. And then Palu joined KT, and Namgun is from Genji Academy. So this team's made a lot of changes. The average of the solo laners, 8th in the region. Mid-jungle duo, 8th. Bot lane duo, 10th. In top lane, we have Casting, 9th in his role. His games in the LCK were better than Perfect's games in the entirety of the season. That's in part due to small sample, but regardless, Casting is 9th. Last year, mostly Challenger stats, 3.8 KDA, 54 KP, 7.6 CS per minute. However, did deal a good amount of damage at 1.63. What ends up coming from that, though, is a 0.6 share differential. What does that mean? That KT Challengers dealt a lot of damage. And the top laner, despite dealing a lot of damage, did not really take that big of a chunk of the team's damage share. So it's hard to really say what he will be on this team because KT were just that aggressive. 231 vision efficiency. That needs to be better. Slightly ahead of 15 minutes. That needs to be better. In my opinion, laning stats are one of the most important stats for a Challengers player or a Tier 2 player to earn the right to go to Tier 1. In terms of solo kills, 1 every 3 games, which is good. 1 new champion every 7 games. Gwen, Rumble, and Bessa, 37% of his champion pool. Diak behind him, 144 ROI, 2.8 share differential. Very standard numbers, but behind 125 gold. Also 1 solo kill every 3 games. Spectre, pretty standard. Gideon ranks 8th in the role. And with Nongshim at times, he did okay. 2.9 KDA, 73 KP, 6.3 CS per minute. Was not a carry at all. That's shown in the Sejuani, Xinjiao Wukong, but Sejuani being his most played for 40% of his games. The 6.3 CS per minute, yeah, that's a little lower, so the ROI should be higher, but it's not. It's 1.11. And hit share differential, negative 4.4. This is indicative of a player that just doesn't deal a lot of damage. He is low resource, and he's playing more of a tankier facilitator role, traditional jungle role. Vision efficiency could use work, only +4. Laning-wise, even. So early game pathing. Solo kills 1 every 11 games. 1 new champion every 6-7 games. Deny behind him. So Deny looks okay. 20 years old, 75 KP. So 3 out of every 4 kills. 128 ROI with 6.3 share differential. But negative 1.28 ROI with a 6.3 CS per minute. Negative 4.7 share differential. I went out of order, but when we look at that compared to Gideon, different level of play, but the farm is the same. Deny is getting more damage per gold. However, his damage share is less than Gideon's, which means what? Nongshim Red Force didn't deal a lot of damage last year either. Vision efficiency, that needs work for him, but 3.51 is not great. You need to have better ward placement. A jungler should be just as good as a support at placing wards. Doesn't need to be as many, but as efficient. And the numbers may not equal the same because supports put so many down, but the jungler should be dominant in that category, in my opinion. In terms of early game, gets ahead of his opponents. At a high level, 230 gold, 500 XP ahead. He has spotted that much of a lead on average. That's pretty damn good. Solo kills 1 every 10 games, 1 new champion every other game. In third is Wanseok. I don't know. Decent player. 18 years old. Fisher, 21 years old. Carry-oriented last year in damage. Whether it was with Tier 1 or Tier 2 teams, he did solid. 7th in the role. I think this year he is going to have to take on a carry. He's going to have to be the carry for this team. I really don't see Teddy like that at this point of his career. It is Fisher who has to be that player. 3.4 KDA, 66 KP, 8.7 CS per minute, 1.79 ROI, and a 4.9 share differential. Those are Tier 1 carry numbers. He's the one that needs to be given the bulk of the resources, in my opinion. 271 vision efficiency, 42 gold ahead, 1 solo kill every 3 games, 1 new champion every 6 games. Azir, Yone, Aurora, 29% of his games. So very wide champion usage. He is very unpredictable in what he's going to play. In a best of 3, there's a good chance he's not playing one of his 3 most played, where 90% of players in the role would be predictable. Behind him, Roamer. So, with Roamer, there are some issues here. So, 174 ROI, 4.4 share differential was a pretty good team fighter with Pain. However, he was behind at 15 minutes. And if you're behind at 15 minutes in LTA South, I really do think you're going to struggle to find yourself ahead in the LCK. So, if you spot players' leads in LTA South, only 116 gold. And you may say that's nothing. Well, it's 116 gold in LTA South. That could translate, in my opinion, to 300 to 400 gold in the LCK. And now you're going to get gapped. Solo kills, 1 in every 4 or better. Champions played, 1 in every 3 or better. Tempester, solid player. Hopefully he doesn't get demoted. Right now, Roamer is listed on the main roster. If he plays, BRION are even in more dire straits than I thought. But Tempester, so he deals damage at a high level, at a high rate, 1.72. But behind at 15 minutes and only 1 solo kill every 11 games. Not really showing that outplay potential you'd like to see out of a player in Academy or Challengers. Teddy, 27 years old, 4.4 KDA, 74 kill participation. He was always present for his team's fights. More than your average rated carry. 3 out of every 4 kills, 9.3 ROI, 1.6 share differential, 1.6, 9.3 CS per minute, 1.6 ROI, 2 share differential. And the share differential, 6.9, 7.5. Yeah, this team lacks 1.6%. So somebody's going to have to deal damage. Somebody has to deal damage on this team that isn't before. And it's going to have to be Teddy in terms of share differential. But Fisher, in my opinion, is the one that is best suited to be the Tier 1 carry for this team. 277 vision efficiency, laning-wise, relatively even, but it's also a lot of lower level of play stats. And for a player like Teddy, he should be crushing challengers. 1 solo kill every 9 games, 1 new champion every 5 games, 9th in the role. Misfortune, Kaisa, Ezreal, 38% of games. Adai behind him, 1.95 ROI, but for a 20-year-old in Academy, I expect that. And everybody deals a lot of damage in Academy, except Revenge, 1.69. So he is where he belongs, still on the Academy team. Namgung. So Namgung, I've never seen play. He plays in Tier 2. I don't watch Tier 2. But at 22 years old, it's reminiscent of when Duro came up a little later. than some other supports as a rookie. 2.6 KDA, 75 KP, so very involved in what his team did. And it resulted in 0.94 ROI. He dealt a lot of damage. Undeniably so. Vision efficiency, 183. Laning-wise, slightly behind. One new champion every 6 games, 10th in the role, because he's the only player that didn't play in Tier 1 actually. Career ranks higher than him. Career ranked higher than him. Rakan, Nautilus, Renata, 37% of his games played, which is good. Plan B is being promoted to Challengers. Makes sense. He dealt a lot of damage in Academy. Song is the coach. Song's been around the block, mostly in the LCS, but is a world champion head coach with DRX. In 2017 with Immortals, 2018 TSM, 19 Echo Fox, 20 CLG, 21 and 22 DRX, 23 FlyQuest, 25 DRX. These are the places he was listed as a head coach. As a head coach in best of ones, he's 33 and 61 in the regular season. In best of threes, 75 and 69. In best of fives, 0 and 1. In best of fives in playoffs, he's 4 and 8. At international events, he is 12 and 7 in best of ones and 3 and 0 in best of fives. A lot of that coming with his run with DRX. This team went from Edgar to Song. Song is going to get the benefit of the doubt from me, because that DRX team did not play like a Edgar squad did. However, one good season is kind of what got that going. So, we'll see what happens with that. This team doesn't. They're at the floor. They can only be better than I expect them to be, because this is rough shape. Yeah, so thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.